The third and last pattern that I want to show you guys is something that you can use in contemporary rock or funk, or just, if you got a guitar player that you're jamming with, have some fun with it. And it takes it away from the sort of the ethnic Latin vibe, and it could be used for that too. But of course, we're going to try to make this sound a little bit funkier. Okay, so here's how it sounds, then we'll talk about what it is. Now, believe it or not, that is actually just a single stroke roll. Single stroke roll meaning right, left, right, left, right, left, with accents and tone changes. And if I was to play that on my knees, now when I was first taught this on hand percussion, the teacher was breaking it into groups of 3s and 2s. You can count it in 16ths. I'll show you how to do that as well. But we actually learned this. It was a group class of all levels. And for some of us who had more rhythmic training than others, it was a little bit easier to count 16ths. But the people who were kind of new, the moms and the dads in the group and whatnot who never played an instrument before, had a really hard time because they didn't have any musical training, but they could count to 3 or count to 2. So the counting, and I don't know if this might help some of you guys, it may not, but it was, this is a little more advanced, was 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. And the funny thing about that is you go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's 3 times 4, which is 12, and then you're left with the 1 2 1 2, which gives you 4 more notes. 12 plus 4 is 16. So there's your 16th notes. Being musically trained in university, I was actually having a difficult time doing that because I was going 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. But like I said, everybody learns differently depending on their level. So when I was trying to go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2, I was kind of getting lost. But by the end of the lesson, the group class that we were doing, we were all feeling it. Nobody was counting a thing. They were just hearing this. And in a room full of 10 people, that sounded pretty cool, and the teacher started singing and dancing with this African vibe. It was just the coolest thing. Anyways, let's break this down really slow. So I'll do it in the groups of 3s and 2s, okay? So we got to think about it this way. 4 groups of 3s. A single stroke roll. So what's going to happen is your hands are going to alternate on those 1 counts. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's the first part. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Do that a little faster. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So you guys might want to just practice that for a while. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay. And the last part, I'll play the whole thing for you so you can see what I'm adding to that. So there's your 1 2 1 2. Seems so easy, but yet such a challenging pattern. It's amazing. You put 3s and 2s together and you get such a cool sounding pattern. Here's the whole thing one more time. So hopefully you guys can start to hear the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. And oddly enough, it's just 16th notes, but it's pretty funky and pretty it's all broken up and it sounds really cool. But take your time with that one, guys. That one is a lot of fun. You'll notice when I was demonstrating it at the beginning, I was moving my hands around. The pattern didn't change, just where I moved my hands did. It's to sort of experiment with the tones. Try that. You'll be amazed what starts happening with this stuff. Have fun with that one, and I'll see you in a bit.